this, and now it should be coming into print. I am asking it to print somewhere in the middle. Now there are a bit of overhangs on this gear wheel I'm printing, and I'm not asking for any support on this print, so I'm taking a bit of a risk. I would say you always want to, sorry about that going out of focus, this camera can be a bit of a pig when I'm zooming in. Always want to watch your first couple of prints. I am asking for 2 layers of like skirt to go around, which I would also recommend because it gives you a chance to check how much it's sort of getting squished down on the bed and gets the filament feeding. So just let this sort of get going a bit. Put this up a light on. If you hear me coughing, I've got a sore throat, and once I get sore throat I get it for a while. It's just my throat has caused me a lot of problems over quite a number of years, even before I got a 3D printer, so before anybody blames the fumes of 3D printers for my throat, well, I've had my sore throat on and off, and problems swallowing and such like on and off for a long time. Okay, that looks absolutely fine to me. I'm just going to give it a short while longer, and then I'll be going on to time lapse, because this is, I think it could be up to a 5-hour print this, but then I am asking for quite fine layers and such like. I think it's 0.2. I will put the details here. Use a slicer. So I'm printing onto blue painter's tape, which has been cleaned down with isopropyl alcohol. 1.75 PLA filament. It was 190 on the Nozzle E3D version 6, although after the first layer it goes down to 180, that's set in slicer. The bed is set to 70 degrees throughout this print. Using a BLTouch there. Yep, trying to show you the thumbs up, but I'm zoomed in a bit. BLTouch, yep. That saves me a lot of manual, like leveling of the bed and such like. If you do not have auto leveling on your bed, get it on. Oh, that's what I'm going to zoom out now, and let's have a look at the auto leveling. So I would have expected these Z ones to be moving. Unless the bed is already very, very level, seems a bit unlikely to me, because I haven't really bothered exactly leveling the bed. But normally this Z cabbage will move slightly as the XY plane is moving about. See, if this was higher, this corner of the bed, then this would turn as the carriage moved over this side and raise the Z up to allow for that. But, so it doesn't look like it was curved. That was not causing these to thingy. I mean, it seems to be printing out all right, so are we saying that this bed is near enough level as it is? Just seems so unlikely, but it could be. seems to be printing out okay. So it looks like it wasn't cooler not doing this leveling. The only way I could find out that is like fake the auto leveling and in a way put maybe something under one of the probes as it's doing its testing to see if it would allow for that. That's something I might do just to make sure that the auto leveling routine is working as I expect. But this was done in Slicer, this model. Sliced from an STL into the G code. It was created using Tinkercad. Well, it was originally somebody else's model and it's been modified a reasonable amount and such like in Tinkercad and then made into G code with Slicer. Now I've tried some other software to design stuff, Google's SketchUp, other versions of AutoCAD 123, whatever it is, and various other ones. But Tinkercad is very easy to use, simple, nice and straightforward, and can produce quite good results. I'll just move in a bit closer and then we'll get it on time lapse. Go around a bit more now. I see this does have holes in as part of the design of this gear wheel. Well, it's like a belt drive gear wheel. Let's get this on time lapse. Back to normal speed on this video. There is a bit of an overhang at parts of this model and that looks pretty good considering there's no supports set on this model. We're 1¼ hours into this print, so the nozzle now is at 180 degrees, the bed is at 70. Yes, I'm printing PLA blue painter's tape, but I've been really worried about getting warpage if I print on a cold bed or ambient temperature bed, probably should call it. Can't notice any wobble on this. It's 80% infill, I believe. I will put the details here. And I'll use Slicer to do this. Now with Slicer, earlier on I noticed some what people call zits, bumps, blobs. Me trying to have a look at this. I can't see any. Initial impression is good, but we'll have to wait and see. And that was when I was using like blue PLA. This is obviously using black PLA. Almost about the same settings. So I'm starting to think that it was the actual PLA I was using when I was thinking it might have been Slicer creating the blobs and zits on the model there, like little bumps on the model. This is using Slicer and I can't notice any zits or bumps from what I can see without, you know, doing major sort of stuff. So that looks good. Like I'll go back to time lapse in a few more moments. So that BLTouch there, very good. Once it's set up, be no problems, works well. Saves me an awful lot of hassle what I had to do before. I had to manually lower and raise like a micro switch that was just on an expansion bracket here. Used to raise and lower it manually. But this BLTouch does it sort of automatically. This pin, as you've seen there, you can go up and down, all under control of the sort of software, firmware, whatever people want to call it. E3D version 6 hot end there, 0.4 nozzle, blue painter's tape, cleaned off with isopropyl and alcohol onto a heat bed that is set at 70 throughout this pin, set at 70. Nozzle is at the moment 180, but the first layer was 190. Two skirts on there to sort of get the filament flowing. Seems to be coming out fine. I'll just reiterate that I was using cooler, just a second, let that full focus, and I didn't notice the Z doing its auto leveling as the bed moves and the carriage moves, apart from obviously when it raises up normally the next layer. So I've gone over the slicer for this and it's still not moving. So what that suggests to me is that the bed is level, and that is a shock because I haven't deliberately gone out and leveled the bed. But it seems to be printing fine, so let's leave it. Move the camera up a little bit more before I put it onto this time lapse, because I don't know if you can see any. It's one problem with black PLAs, especially I think if you're videoing it, is trying to see like if there's any stringing in those holes which are part of the design on this sort of belt drive cogwheel. This is for, well, I'm trying to put together a quick release belt drive feeder. That's hopefully a bit better design than being just plain. I don't know how well this will work out. Okay, let's get back to time lapse just now. Let this come round a bit. Maybe once more. Oh, it tends to, yeah, it's doing the teeth now, so it tends to almost jerk as it starts doing the teeth. So let that, I mean, you just probably make out the edge of the teeth there. So let this go a few more seconds like this before I put it on time lapse. So what time are we on now? 1 hour 22 minutes into this print. Okay, let's go back to time lapse. So the bed's cooled down now, a little bit of stringing here, not too bad. Let's see how easy this is to get off. Oh no, it's sticking, it is sticking. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on here and it's not coming off. So I'm back to this where it's sticking far too well to this blue painter's tape. Let me Try and show you some of the other angles before. Maybe, let me try to have a look. Yeah, there's quite a lot of roughness, especially around this side, like zits and such like. Along the edge of teeth, which is to a certain extent the worst place you can have roughness on a model like this. Have to be careful with it. This is quite sharp, this. Paint scrape or something that. Even trying to get this, wiggle this underneath. I got this print, but it finished before I expected. Be careful about putting any fingers or hands in front of your, if you're using any tools like this, because if it does slip, ouch. Even this, can I, ooh, just got under that edge corner there. Now it's going under that other corner. So I'm trying to do this without damaging the blue painter's tape. I can see it lifting a little bit around this side. Just here. Let me try and get this on this side, wiggling it. Gradually working it up. It was extremely well stuck on that. So here's the bottom. Here's the edges, and you can see some of the, let me try and kind of scrape that off a bit, but certainly some of the bumps there, some of the zits and other things. This is using slicer. So I am seriously thinking about going back to using Cura, because Cura I think might have less zits and Cura might have less of these bumps and artifacts and zits on. So there's the overhangs there. No supports were used on this. Printed directly on the bed. It is flat. Not rocking, I don't think. That's only because yeah, seems pretty flat, so didn't warp, so that's good. Yes, I have an arrow on this to show which direction this is supposed to turn. So this is like the main drive wheel, well, the design of it for the belt drive mechanism. Okay, now you know, I don't like doing things like that, going out to the shops, coming back home and then going back out to the shops. And this is what I feel like with this. I don't like printing it out, then loading it into Cura, slicing it in Cura and then printing the same model back out. But I think I'm going to have to do that to see if it will remove these zits. So that's implying it's not the plastic. Temperatures. Mainly 180 for most of this, 190 on the first surface. Bed set to 70 degrees, PLA yes or no, you can print on a cold bed all right. Anyway, I'm going to have to try this in Cura. I'm just going to have to slice this into Cura and see if we can get rid of these like bumps and zits that are on here. Just a second. That's bad, that's where the belt drive teeth need to go into, so obviously it's not the plastic, because I've tried blue plastic and that was doing the same, although both all PLA. Yep, otherwise this has come out pretty well.